Welcome to another presentation of the University of Kentucky Working Parents Network. Today's presentation is talking about embracing family time during breaks. Embracing family time during breaks. We know that family time is very precious, and any time that we can get with our family members and loved ones is a true gift. So, during this presentation, we're going to encourage you to really be present in your family moments, really create opportunities to be together and make the most of that time, and know that that time will not be perfect. But we also encourage you in this presentation to value quality over quantity. We're not in any way saying you have to spend hours and hours and hours together to make that time valuable, but we're simply saying whatever time that you do carve out, really see that as valuable time and note that it's quality over quantity. So, our objectives for the presentation today is to acknowledge your family members' interests and needs, acknowledge outside and inside distractions, discuss practical and realistic ideas to enhance your family time together, and to share strategies to connect with your children at various ages and stages. So, no matter what your family looks like, no matter your family structure or your family size, we know that families come in all shapes and sizes. You may have young children, you may have older children, you may have grown children, you may not even have children. Maybe you are a step parent or a foster parent or an aunt or an uncle. Maybe you're a grandparent or foster or adoptive parent. Whatever type of parent you are, we invite you to tune in and just kind of listen to these tips and determine what makes sense for your family, your size of your family, and the needs of your family. Because we really want to encourage you in this presentation to embrace the breaks that you have, whether it be a break of 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 day or 3 days, even maybe it's just the weekends. When you have breaks, how do you make the most of that time with your family? Looking at this quote, it says, "No amount of money or success can take the place of time spent with your family. No amount of money or success can take the place of time spent with your family." Just something to think about. So, here's the first thing you want to consider when you're talking about embracing family time during breaks. First of all, who's in your family? Who are your family members? What are their ages? What are their stages? What are their individual interests? Everyone is different. Everyone has different interests. So I encourage you as you're thinking about, okay, a break is coming up and I want to really spend some time with my family. Wait a minute, who's in my family? What are their ages? What's practical? What makes sense in terms of trying to spend time and what does that look like for these individuals based on their interests and their personalities, their abilities and their skills? What does this look like for these individuals based on their mental status or their recent stress levels? Are they really stressed out from work? Am I really stressed out from work? And am I viewing this break as time to do nothing? Or am I viewing this break as time to catch up on projects at home? So you do want to just think about the personalities. The family members, do we have people that are outgoing and they like to go and do things outside the home? Do you have people that are more reserved and they prefer to be home and they want to take it easy? They want to step back. They want to recharge. So it's good to have conversations if you have older family members or even younger children. Ask them, what are some things you want to do? If you have a break, for example, winter break coming up, if you have a whole week, you may want to ask your child, even if they're elementary school or middle or high or even college, what are there things you want to do? Activities, are there places you want to go visit? Are people you want to see? Maybe they'll say, yes, there's was one thing I want to do, and or no, I don't want to do anything. Just ask the question and find out where they are. Also, think about the timing and the location of these activities. Where are the activities located? Are they located inside the home or outside the home? Are they located in a space where you and your family and your children can feel comfortable? Is it a space where you feel welcomed? Is it a busy space? Is it a quiet space? Is it a space where you have to travel, drive 2, 3 hours to get there or fly to this location? So think about, I'm trying to spend time with my family. I'm embracing this break. We're going to hang out. Where are we going? What are we doing? How long will it take to be there, to get there? And then think about the amount of time available. That's during the break as a whole. Is it 1 week? Is it 2 weeks? Is it 3 days? Is it one day? Think about how much time that person has. Maybe they have other activities, other things going on. So as you're thinking about, I want to spend time with them, ask them, do they have other things that they want to do or they're planning to do that does not include you? So that you can factor that in when you're trying to schedule or arrange things to do. And I encourage you to think about for yourself, what else should you consider when you're thinking first things to consider? The break is coming up. I want to spend time with my family. I want to spend time with friends, whatever your family looks like. What else should you consider that's not on this list? For example, are there traditions? Should you be considering the cost to participate in certain activities? Should you consider the distance? Should you consider whatever? You fill in the blank. Also, think about possible distractions. When you're talking about spending time with family during the break and getting the most of it, what are some things that'll be distractions that might hinder you, or even barriers that may hinder you? There's internal and there's external distractions. So, internal distractions could be mental load. Mental load is just that never ending to do list running through your head. It could be your head, it could be your partner's head. You're thinking about all these things you need to do. It could be your children, they're thinking about things they have to do. So, that mental load sometimes that's an internal distraction. You're trying to spend time with them, but they're not present. Or they're trying to spend time with you, but you're not present because you're thinking about all these things that you need to do. So that can be not being present can be a distraction to trying to spend time together. Like you're physically present, but if you're mentally not present, that's a distraction. And then thinking in other ways that these internal distractions show up could just be simply you thinking about work and projects. You're tired, you need sleep, or you're having trouble sleeping, or maybe you're sleeping too much. Maybe there's stress and anxiety or worry over a variety of things. Other internal distractions, if you're feeling lonely, maybe your children are grown and they're out the house and they are not able to spend time with you or as much time as you want them to spend with you during breaks because they have their own lives. Or maybe they're teenagers or and they're in your house, but they have other plans or they work or they're spending time with friends. So that may make you feel a little lonely. Or maybe you're single or you're a single parent, or whatever your status is, or you're a grandparent and you're not going to get to see your children or grandchildren that much or at all during the break. So these are just things to think about. And grief and illnesses and financial worries are also possible internal distractions. And grief shows up in a variety of ways. Grief is not just the loss of a loved one, like to death. It could be grief over the loss of a friendship or a relationship or a loss of a home or loss of some sort of property. It could be grief over changes at work. It could be grief a lot of time, grief over financial concerns. So grief shows up in a lot of different ways. And then there's some external distractions to be mindful of. Things that can distract you from spending time with your family and loved ones could be you trying to make your way through your to-do list, whatever that list is. If that list is chores, is it shopping? Is it doing other things with other people outside the home? Whatever your to-do list is, projects in the home or around the home, you could be spending a lot of time doing that and not spending a lot of time with your family members. So that's just something to think about as well. So break time, here's some family ideas. And of course, this is a short list. You can make your own list. Some things on here you may go, yes, we can do that. Other things you may say, I haven't thought of that. Or other things you may say, nope, that won't work for my crew. Whatever the case may be, just Think about what works for you. And we're not encouraging you to make this really long list of things to do either. It could be one or two things that you do together. And I like this quote that says, it's not about finding time, it's about making time. Making time is the key here. We make time to do anything that we want to do, really, if you think about it. We can prioritize. And when we prioritize, that's us making time to do things. And so with your family, think about your family time as I will make the time to do certain things. And do by do, it could be don't do. It could be I'm going to make the time just to relax with my family, watch a movie, or do something you consider relaxing. So here's some indoor items: cooking, cleaning, organizing, resting, relaxing, or doing very little, reading, writing, playing games, puzzles, crafts, painting, drawing, listening to music together, dancing, have little dance parties, maybe watch a movie or watch a TV show, maybe do some sort of repair or update projects, clean out a closet, whatever. I mean, there are some indoor activities, and this actually can also be spending time together. So when you think about spending time together, remember we're focusing on quality over quantity. So we're focusing on the value of the time spent and not how long the time was. So, for example, you may watch a 20-minute TV show, and that was great time spent together. You may do a 10-minute dance party, and that was great time spent together. You may, your child may help you cook, and by cook, based on their age, they assist in various ways. If they're old enough to help chop up something or mix things or put things in bowls or stir something, a pot, or put something in and out of this oven, whatever their age appropriate contribution is, that's them helping you and that's them spending time with you. And awesome thing about spending time with your children or your partner or your family members is while you're spending time doing things together, even if it's lighthearted, low key things, it's time that you can talk. It's time that they can tell you things that's on their mind. You can tell them things that's on your mind. So, spending any time together, outdoors, take a walk, a hike, go for a bike ride, go for a run together, do some yard work or some kind of work around the home, volunteer someplace together, go to local activities, visit, meet up with family and friends, host a gathering. So those are just things that you can do. Just some ideas. This is a short list. Family, here's another quote. Small moments in time creating memories that last a lifetime. Small moments in time. Remember, it doesn't need to, it could be 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there, 15 minutes here, but those small moments in time creating memories to last a lifetime. My son and I oftentimes take walks around our neighborhood, and it may take 15 minutes, maybe 20, to just take a walk around just one loop around the block. But in that time, oftentimes we are talking about various things, things that's going on with him and his day. Or we may listen to a song and sing that song together halfway around the block. So we're making memories. And these are small moments of time. And we may come back to the house and go our separate ways. But we spent that time together, and I remember that, and we cherish that time so much. So here's some strategies for enjoying the break. So take it one moment at a time, be present, pause, breathe, and relax. Especially if you're the type of person that tends to go, 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 always have something going on. You may need to just pause, breathe, and relax, even if it's just 1 minute in the midst of going, going, going. And when I say be present, depending on again personality or how you are, how much you may think you have to do, you may have to remind yourself over and over again. You may have to write a little note on a post-it note and put it on your mirror in your room, or put it in your vehicle, or put a note on your phone to pop up announcement or pop up a notification that says be present. Whatever you need to do, try to be present mind and body during this break when you're spending time with your family members. Be present mentally, be present physically. And then remember the time is limited, so you won't get to do everything. But determine what few things do you really want to do and do those things. Remember what you enjoy. So, as you're thinking about things to do, make sure there's the things that you put on your list are things that you actually want to do. And they're not just like, oh, we should do these five things, but nobody really wants to do those things. We're doing them out of tradition or obligation, or this is the type of thing people tend to do. Figure out what you enjoy, what your children enjoy, and that will change over time. So keep that in mind. As your children grow up, what they enjoyed at 5 years old, they may not enjoy at 10. What they enjoyed at 10, they may not enjoy at 15. What they enjoyed at 15, they may not enjoy at 20. So just kind of keep an open mind about that when you're trying to break out the board game that they love to play and they're like, I don't want to play it. And you're thinking, you always like to play this game. Be open to the fact that they don't like to play that anymore, and that's okay. Remember what makes you laugh, what makes you smile. Be intentional. Minimize the errand list. As much as you're going to want to try to get a lot done because it's break sometimes, and be okay with saying no to some invitations. If someone says, can you come to these five different holiday parties or five different activities, you may want to say no to some of them. Or if it's something that you can go to for 1 hour versus 3 hours, you may say, I can stop by for a little while and stop by for a little while and leave. So just kind of think about how can you manage all of these different things. Make the activity list very small. Pick one activity a day or 1 to 3 a week. That's one way to do it too. What's one thing we're going to do today? That way you get to relax, rejuvenate, but also do something together. Be flexible. Maybe something's not on your list that's going to pop up that seems fun and everyone wants to do it. Go for it. And then sometimes doing nothing is a good plan. The plan today is to do nothing. Fantastic. Then don't expect a miracle. Be okay with, be determined to be satisfied with what you get to do or decide to be satisfied with what you get to do as a family. You're not going to be able to do everything, but you will get to do some things. And just tell yourself, whatever we get to do, it's going to be okay. So if you have teenagers, here's some 10 ways to spend quality time with your teenager. First of all, turn off the electronics. And sometimes that doesn't mean say, turn off your phone, maybe you just do some activity that does not require electronics. So if you go to the store, you leave the electronics in the car. Like they leave theirs, maybe their phone, for example, or a Game Boy or a Switch, or, leave it in the car. So that's one way to do it. And then eating a meal together, eat dinner together, lunch together, breakfast together, either snack together, go get a dessert, go get an ice cream cone together. Just do something where you're eating together. Step into your teen's world, whatever that means for them. Maybe they have certain activities that they like to do. Maybe they like certain games. Maybe they like certain places, certain stores. If there's a store that they really love, even if it's like an electronic store and you could care less, just go take them to that store and follow them around for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. But you're spending time with them and you're stepping into their world and you're doing something they enjoy, and they're more likely to open up and they can tell you about certain things. Let's just say it's a comic book store, for example. They can tell you about the various comics and you can say, tell me about that, or why do you like that character? Or maybe they don't want to talk and you're just present and you're just walking around with them. Whatever it works, but step into their world. Do something active, do something nice for others together. Go for a drive or a walk or a run or do a project together. Teach your teen something new. It could be something like personal grooming habit. It could be an activity related to something upkeep for the home, or it could be cooking a meal or a dish, or teach them something new. Schedule a family night and then let them teach you something. Let them teach you something. My son is currently teaching me how to play chess, and I'm actually starting to get pretty good at it. He told me the other day, "Mom, you're getting good at this." So I was like, "All right." And I was pretty intimidated to even learn the game because it looks so complicated and there's so many rules, but I'm getting the hang of it and it's actually fun now. So, stepping into his world, that was something he wanted to teach me. He's been asking for a while. And I finally kind of said, "Okay, you can teach me." And so it's been months now that we've been working on this, but it's kind of fun. And I even bought him a new chessboard and a set because his old set, we were wearing it out. But let them teach you something that builds their confidence, that shows that you value their time and their skill, and they just feel great. So, welcoming back a college student, let's say you have a college student and it could be their first time away from home. They could be a freshman. Maybe they've been away from home. Maybe they're a sophomore, junior, senior, or graduate student, even. Just here's some things to keep in mind when you have a college student coming back home during breaks, whether they're long breaks or short breaks. It could be a summer break where it's a longer break, it could be a shorter break where it's just a weekend break. But either way, here's some good things to keep in mind. So, what do you need to know up front? First of all, you need to know that they are not the same person. So, when they were in your house and they were in high school, and now that they've gone off and they've been adulting a little bit, and they've been learning and making some mistakes and doing some things well and learning how to manage their own time and responsibilities and activities and so forth, it's not that they're not the same person coming back into your home, especially if this their first semester away. So, or if they've studied abroad, or just thinking about they're a little different. So just be open to how are they different, and maybe some of the things they used to like they don't like anymore. Maybe some things they used to do or places they used to want to go they don't want to go anymore. They're a little bit different. So just be open to that. And then know that your parenting role has changed. You're more of an advisor now and less of a dictator. And so you want to you got more of a collaborative role now. And so more of a cooperative role with them. And then you may be also excited, and it may also be a challenge that they're coming back. So excited, yay, I haven't seen you. I'm excited to see you. Come on back. The challenge could be, okay, you're back, and they could be bringing a little dynamic into the home where they want to do their own thing, or they want to do things a certain way, or they don't want to participate in certain things, or whatever. There may be some challenges there as well. So don't be surprised by that. Just be like, okay, this is normal. So also talk about expectations and plans before they come home. Before they come home, have a conversation with them about what is it they want to do or don't want to do. If there's certain activities that you know are happening during their stay and you want them to participate in, give them heads up. Say, we're going to Auntie so and so's house, or I want you to go to this activity with me. I'd love to go catch a movie with you, or just kind of have a conversation about that before they get home so that even if they don't give you an answer at that time, at least they know what they're walking into. And you can have a conversation with them when they're there and they can say, yes, I do, or no, I don't want to do that. And then respect their decision making. If they say, I don't want to go to this activity, I don't want to catch this movie with you, I don't want to go shopping with you, whatever it is, I don't want to help you wrap gifts. Whatever it is, just kind of respect that they are an adult now and there are certain things that, you can give them a little liberty to make some decisions on their own. And then discover the new normal, whatever the new normal is, and it's probably going to shift for a while. But just be open to that. Embrace your time that you have together. Don't dwell on differences. Don't dwell on you used to like this and now you don't want to do this. What's wrong with you? Why don't do any of that. Just embrace the time together. Don't dwell on what's different. Just focus on what you can do together. And then don't take that time for granted. Enjoy every moment, be present. And then here's some common mistakes to avoid. Avoid trying to monopolize their time. And that's back to the scheduling things. Avoid overscheduling. Avoid reminding them that they no longer live here. Avoid expecting things to be the same. Avoid nagging or criticizing or giving them free reign at home, even. Just like do whatever you want to do. Especially if you have other children in the home, you want to be mindful that, okay, you can't just do whatever you want to do because other children are watching, but you want to set some guidelines and some parameters. and try not to be impatient with them. Try to be patient. So, this quote says if you are too busy to enjoy quality time with your family, then you need to reevaluate your priorities. There's another quote that says put yourself on your own to do list. I like that one as well. So now I encourage you to just pause the video and look at this information and make a list for yourself. Think about three things that your family enjoys doing together. And when I say three things, you may start writing your list and come up with five or six things or 10 things. No worries. Just think of a few things that your family enjoys doing together. And it could be that when you start this list, you may determine that there's some people in the family that like this, and some people like this, and some like this, and some like that is perfectly fine. That's great. And it's okay to let those two that like that one thing go do that, and the other three that like the other thing go do that. That is fine. You don't have to do every single thing together, your entire unit, especially if you have several members in your family with various needs and various likes and dislikes. It's okay to let different ones go off and do the things that they enjoy. So keep that in mind. Remember, quality over quantity. And then, what are the personality types and interests in your family? Do you have introverts or extroverts? Do people recharge by being with people or recharge by pulling back and having time to themselves? Do you have spontaneous people that's kind of like go with the flow, or do you have planful people that like to plan? Do you have fillers or thinkers, indoor people, outdoor people, low key, big event people? What distractions usually keep you from enjoying family time? What are they? Is it work? Are they personality things? Are they outside things, mental stress, whatever? What are the distractions? These personalities? What is it? Just kind of evaluate that and think about, okay, here are the known as distractions, and then how do you work around them? And then what can you do to enjoy your family during the break? So we talked about what are some things you enjoy doing, but what are some things you can do? Like even say, we're going to do these three things. And think about this in terms of how much time you have during a break. If we're talking about a 2 day break, that's going to be very different what you can do versus a 1 week break or a 2 week break. So think about that. And also, the key with break is that you actually break from some things. You relax, you take it easy, you do less. So think about that as well while you're planning things or thinking about things to do. So as you reflect a little bit, what will you do? Here's a quote: family time is sacred time and should be protected and respected. Another quote: happiness is spending time with the people you love and creating memories that last a lifetime. And my final quote: sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes memory. Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. I really like that. And this is when you have to reflect on a little bit. Sometimes when you're in the moment, you don't realize how precious the moment is. Something as simple as taking a dog for a walk if you have a dog, something as simple as cooking a meal together, something as simple as cleaning the yard together, or whatever it is. After the fact, oftentimes, is when you realize, oh my gosh, that was special, or that was good time, quality time spent, or the child opened up to you during that time and shared something with you. So sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. So that encourages us to create memories, right? One day at a time. So as I close, I encourage you to enjoy your family time during breaks and take it one day at a time.